Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful summer's afternoon out here in West Vancouver. It was quite hot again today, but they say it's going to start cooling down towards the weekend, so yay, let's hope for that. Anyway, today I want to talk about my favorite grocery store, and you know, we moved closer to Park Royale, so where we are right now, the store that we go to, our closest shop is actually the Loblaws City Market down at Park Royale, and it's a really cool shop. And I mean, it's literally, we pop out into Taylor Way and it's 3 to 4 minutes and we're right there at the City Market. Except of course if you hit the big bridge traffic, then it's a pain in the behind, but that's our closest store, and it's a good store, it's a good shop. I mean, they've got everything. They actually got quite a big variety, whole lot of stuff. Another option that we have is the Whole Foods across the road, but that's just, you know, Whole Foods has got some really cool stuff, but it's just, you know, it's just a little too expensive. They kind of, and they don't have a monopoly on organic food. You can get the organic food at City Market as well, but Whole Foods is just a little bit more expensive. We, you know, struggle to pay that extra little bit, not extra little bit, extra lot of bit actually for it. But anyway, so City Market, Whole Foods, those are the two stores close to us. And this afternoon when I was driving out here to go back to the store to go get milk and some stuff, I said to Belinda, you know what, I actually miss the Safeway. Really, when I have to go down to it, the Safeway up in Caulfield, that still is my favorite grocery store in West Vancouver. So we just popped on the highway and actually went to the Safeway. I don't know, it's just a cool store. Their veggies are great. Maybe it's because it was our first store when we got to Vancouver and we just kind of got so used to it, or, you know, what's it, your first love is your forever love. Anyway, Trey, sorry for all the silliness. The Safeway up in Caulfield is by far still my favorite grocery store in West Vancouver. I haven't found anything that beats it. They just have the right mix of everything, and it's nice, and yeah, it's just a nice store. And of course, you know, the funny thing is, we drive over to the Safeway in Caulfield, and we're standing around there at the groceries looking at letters and things, and we're speaking in Afrikaans, and the next minute the lady next to us says, hey, I just have to say hello. So she's also from South Africa, she also speaks Afrikaans. You know how many South Africans we've actually met in that Safeway in Caulfield by just walking around and speaking Afrikaans, and people coming up to us and saying, hey, how's it going? Anyway, yeah, so I must say though, the one thing that I'm wondering about is that Safeway, when we just moved here, we used to catch that customer appreciation day quite regularly. Once a month we would walk in there and they'd be, hey, today is customer appreciation day, you get 10% discount on all your groceries, which was great. It's been a while. I must find out if they still have the customer appreciation day. Any which way, not much else to report. Life here is great. It really is awesome. People are awesome. Lots of interesting things going on. But we'll talk about that later. I know a lot of you, oh, you know what? Let me just update you. A lot of you have asked how it went with the camp and Connor. And, you know, surprisingly well. My poor son, he was actually hurting quite a bit when he came back from the camp. Every muscle in his body was sore. He was saying that, you know, he did more physical exercise in that 2 weeks than in the whole 6 years before. But apparently they had a lot of fun. Well, they had fun. What they did was they were staying in the camp. It's a leadership development camp. There weren't too many of them. I think there was like 14 or 15 leadership development 1, and then 6 or 8 leadership development 2, which is next year's camp. And they all grouped together. And it was 2 girls to boys. The ratio was 2 girls to boys. Which I guess was cool, because I would have loved to be in a camp at that age with just a bunch of girls. But anyway, and they did they did the camp stuff. It was really cool. They actually went on a 5-day canoe trip. So they had to carry canoes and food and everything. They did, 8 point something kilometers of portage and 34 kilometers of canoeing, and then camping every night. And then the counselors would do stuff like where they had to show leadership skills. So the counselors would get into a fight, and they would then have to, calm the situation down, or they would got to save somebody that falls in the lake and stuff like that. So it was an interesting trip. I know, he doesn't say it. He's not like, yeah, I loved it, but I can see that he actually enjoyed it, which was good. Except for all the physical pain. The poor kid was hurting, and he still is. He was saying when they were carrying the canoes, it's funny, dude, Connor has grown. I swear he's got now, his chin is on my nose. He's just grown so much, this kid. So he says he was by far the tallest guy in the camp. So when they carry the canoes, and they at first they started carrying the canoes 2-2, so you put the canoe over your head. He's like, but he can't be in front, because if he's in front, the canoe keeps on hitting him behind at the back of the head, because it's like at a weird angle. He says, and he can't be at the back, because if he's at the back, the guy in front can't see, because then the canoe goes in front of his face. So he ended up carrying the canoe on his own. But yeah, camp went really well. Connor loved it, except for the physical exertion. He actually didn't seem to miss his phone that much. He didn't complain about that too much. Anyway, we're going to try and convince him to do Leadership Development 2 next year. He's shouting from in there, but we're working on him. Anyway, all right, folks, you all must have an absolutely beautiful day. See you again. Cheers.